So today started with a dead gap scanner, literally nothing on the gap scan that looked good. So this is one of those days where, we're really depending on something hitting the high day momentum scanner and giving us some action. I don't know if we're going to see that. I'll hope for something to hit the high day momentum scanner. So far, ALRN, high a day is 26. It's, has no news. Has the 200 moving average up here. It's not a recent IPO. Well, it's not a super recent IPO stock. It IPO'd in 2017. So a little further out. So you see it popped over there, the high. So you could have taken this first candle to make a new high here, which would have been an entry at 220, 1 minute micro pullback. It hit a high of 235, but is at 216 right now on the bid. So I need to see a little more staying power on it. I'd maybe put an order at like 235 if it looks like it's going to break that level, but it's not quite there yet. SXTC, volume's pretty light on it, but I can see that one potentially setting up, a daily candle to make a new high. You can see here, yesterday's high was 660, but the volume's pretty light right now. TRVN, I think this is, this one was a cheaper one. It broke over $1, got to $1.20. Highs were $1.45. I'm not totally sure. Right now, just still sitting and waiting, watching. SPI, take a peek at that one. I see it's just under $3, which is a good level. Again, no news on it. I'm going to sit on my hands if I was being aggressive, but it's got a spread of 276 by 295. That's a 19-cent spread. The risk there is just a little too much, so I'm going to sit tight on that for right now. Three by 310, 97 on the bid, 95 on the bid, but below 95 is 82. You see how it's starting to move a little faster. I'd consider it if it looks like it's going to break 350. It's on the scanner now, volume increasing, but I'm not sure. The high of this current candle is 333, so it really popped up there. And if it breaks back below 3, that's no good. So I'm going to just take a breath, kind of temper that desire to jump in something really quick, wait for it to prove to me that it's worth it. The daily chart, 380 would be maybe the first target, and then above 380 it's got room to 775. MBOT, TMSR, no. SPI 286 on the bid. So it looks like it's short sellers are jumping into that. Stops would be up at the high. PHIIK is interesting. It made a much bigger move than I kind of would have expected yesterday, but now it's got a shooting star doji as yesterday's candle. SPI 266 on the bid. Below 266 is 248. That's what you call a false, I mean, that's a really bad false breakout. Well, I mean, this is just, it could be sellers, but this would be a place if I was had shares available, I'd be looking short below 3, stop at high a day. ALLT, I'm not sure on that one. Floats 33 million shares, so that's the main issue. SPI 200 is at 774. Yep, try to keep your money in your pockets today unless we see something that looks really, really good. MBRX was on the gap scan this morning. Float's a little higher, price is a little lower, so it's not really as interesting to me. Oh, I was talking about ZKIN being a sad story yesterday because they came out with great earnings, really great news, but it sold all the way back off. So it gave up all of those gains. Well, I don't know. I think ZKIN, it could have just been, short sellers who saw that SXTC didn't hold up super well and neither did TMSR, said, you know what, this is a China stock. I'm just going to hit it to the short side. And on that one, they were right. I don't know. Imbalance between buyers and sellers. Maybe there were insiders who decided to take some profit. I mean, for whatever reason, there were more sellers than buyers. And you can guess at what the reasons might be, but we don't really know. So no trade so far, 9:45. INSY, it's not on my gap scans. There it is, 26 million share float on INSY. Looks like the halt level's at 89. You can see LULD. Oh, halt level moved up to 508. So on this one, I'm a little unclear at what's causing this kind of big move, so I'm going to give it a second. The high is 91. Let it pull back, see if it does a micro pullback. Float's a little on the higher side, but I mean, if it shows staying power. TMSR. The thing with TMSR, I'll take a starter on it. The thing with this, I'm gonna take a start. I'm trying to add here on TMSR at 506. This one I'm willing to take a starter on because former runner breaking over 538, then next target on it would be 550. 560, 570, maybe $6. First daily candle to make a new high. I could have been aggressive stocking it here at the 65 level. I wasn't really watching it that closely, but jumped in for the break of 5. So I'm going to put an order. I'm going to put a buy order coming out of the halt at 525. I'm going to place, let's see, let me cancel these. Okay, I'm going to place the order right now, so I have the buy order there. I think there's a good chance it'll open higher. 538, and then 550 would be the first target. So I can place orders, during halts, and then if it opens and dips down for a second, I'll get filled, and then as it surges back up, I can add at 550, and if it breaks 550, then my target would be $6. So this was right off the High Day Momo scanner. Hit the scanner at 75. I was a little slow to get in, didn't get filled until 5. Tried to add at 506. Those shares didn't fill. But first target's 550, second target $6. So I've got my starter in the IRA, my main account. I'm going to put TMSR here, 550 as a possible scalp level. This scan has been updated and added to the classes for Warrior Pro students. So you guys should have this one now. My order, I have one at 525, and I'm going to put another one ready at 555. The halt time was at 9:48 and 16 seconds. So being a $5 stock and with only $54,000 in this account, I can only take about 10,000 shares. It's going to limit me a little bit, but I have my main account right next to it with $90,000, so I can trade in that one too. So between the two accounts, I could easily get a good 15, 20,000 share position if it started to really open up. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to hide these windows for a second. So the halt time was, what was it, 9:48. Yeah, that'll make it easy. I took a 17,000 share position, actually a 20,000 share position on Friday, and made $18,000. And it was on this stock. So resumption about 30 seconds away. Ultimately, the first kind of leg of the move, like I said, target 556. Then I want to see a little pullback and see if it opens up for a second move higher. I'm not going to go crazy aggressive into the first move. I want to see it. If it looks like it's going to go into a second circuit breaker, I'll add into the second circuit breaker, but try to get what I can out of it. But I'm really hoping that this gives a second leg and continuation. So orders ready at 555. No resumption yet. Just watching the level 2. So I usually give it about 15 seconds to see if it'll be, see if it'll be still a 5-minute halt, but it hasn't resumed. So the good thing here is that usually when we get a 10-minute long halt, the open is even higher, usually. So that's good in a sense. The thing that's a bummer is that I only have 3,800 shares. I'm not in a very big position right now, so it's not going to be a big win unless I can add to it. I want to get up to at least 10,000 shares, and if I have to add at 575 or 6, then I'm going to have an average cost of like 545 or 550, and or even 560. So I don't know. In the meantime, nothing else seems to be moving. It looks like SXTC popped up a little bit, but yeah, missed that one. Trying to figure out a clean way that I can have both TRPX. Let me look at that. That I can have both my Sterling IRA or my IRA and my main account like side by side, so I can see them both without having one in front of the other. About 2 minutes to resumption. TRPX Biosciences right now, it's like right around the 200 moving average. I'm just going to sit on the sidelines for a second. Dang, John, that's a big position. Well, I'm hoping it opens higher. I've got my order still at 525. I already placed it. It's a live order to buy at 525 coming out of the halt. And then I have an order ready at 555. To add. So if I can get filled to 525, that would be awesome. 555, I'm okay with that. If it squeezes up like 575, 580, looks like it's going to go to 6, we might get 2 halts in a row. So I'm okay with that too. I think as far as the chart's concerned, $6 is kind of the spot I'm looking at right now. But of course, if we get over 6, maybe we got to move a little higher. Resumption about 16 seconds away here. So it looks like it's going to open around 550. I'm going to put my order at 595. Just added for the break of 6. 611 is the next halt. Trying to add going into this halt here. It looks like it's going to go to 6. 611 is the halt, so that's where I'm trying to add. So I'm adding in my main account here as well. So I've got a position on both sides. So now my back of the mind target, now that it's halted at 611, is going to be 650, maybe 7. Let's see. It looks like I didn't get my shares filled at 525, so I canceled that order, and I got filled at 567 and 610. So now I'd put an order at maybe a smaller order. Let's see, 2,000 shares at 630. Actually, I'll go a little smaller. Yeah, so I'll put an order at 630. Target is 650, which we should break coming right out of the halt, and then 7. I think since it's a former runner that made this pretty big move on Friday, 7 is kind of the support level that it had right here. You see how it kind of had support there around 7. So yeah, I think 7 is my target. Now, if it can get to 7 and then pull back, it'll probably do a 5-minute flag pattern. If it does a 5-minute flag pattern and then opens higher, that would be really nice. Like first candle to make a new high and then squeezes up. Let me load my February scanners here. There we go. So I've got my order to add at 6:30. I'm going to cancel this one that I tried going into the halt, and I'm going to put another one to add smaller size at 650. So the target on this is to add coming out of the halt and see if I can scalp up to a high of 7. I'm thinking that 7 is going to be the spot where it pulls back. So if we get a little pullback around 7, then that's where if I had shares available to short, I'd be short with a stop at maybe 720. But not yet, because I still see it really has that potential to get up to 7, which was the low of this flag pattern right here on Friday. All right, so watching for resumption here. Looks like it's going to be another 10-minute halt, which for me is good because usually these will open again higher, as this did. This one opened almost 50 cents higher. $6.50 is on the bid on my Sterling platform. $6.60 is on the bid. So if it opens at $6.60, $7 is very realistic. Oh, sorry, you're right. So we've got 4 seconds to resumption. I was a minute off. Looks like it's going to be a 10-minute halt, though. If it opens at 6:50, my order at 6:30 won't fill. The only way my order that I have right now, I've got two orders. I've got an order at 6:30 and I have an order at 6:50. The only way those will fill is if it dips down for a second. And if it dips down for a second and then surges back up, then that's great. And that's why I sometimes like to have those orders, because if it dips down, sometimes we get that micro pullback and then it shoots up right there. So this takes the form basically of a 1 minute micro pullback. Some brokers, I feel like some don't let you place orders when a stock is halted, but others do. I think it's good to be able to place the order when the stock is halted, because the reality is, if you were looking at something like an LFIN that was halted going down, you might want to cover on the dip or something like that. So the ability to place those orders ahead of time is pretty important. So 650 by 666 is what I'm looking at here on my level 2. Target is a tap of 7 and then the beginning of a pullback. So on Friday on this one, we got 2 halts in a row, and then coming out of, let's see, that last halt, where was it? I guess we got that little pullback and then it surged up again. All-time highs on it are 1032. So what I'm hoping is that it opens, I get filled those shares, and then I can scalp up to 7. That's kind of what I'm looking at, is that scalp up to 7. So watching resumption here. Just got filled on the scalp there. So here's the problem. I got filled in my main account. My IRA, I'm still holding 2,300 shares. the high was 47. So now I'm probably going to end up giving back a little profit on the IRA unless this ends up doing through here. So the high is 647. The low is 574. The low here was 526. I got out of the main account first because I was in the main account too high. So what I think I'm going to do on this, my cost basis is 559. I think I'm probably going to see what the 1 minute micro pullback looks like. So the high of that candle 603, see where it opens, and then try to get out on the first candle to make a new high, knowing that the high is 647, and that on Friday, when we had one of these pullbacks here, right in this area, it dipped down, and as it surged back up, that's where we got, the first candle to make a new high. ZVZZT is a test stock. No, I can't buy and I can't sell while it's halted. I can place orders, but I don't really want to place orders right now. I'm just going to hold, and I'm going to see if this does. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold through a full 5-minute pattern, a 5-minute pullback. Kind of depends on where it opens, but if this, see, I know the high there is 647, so, and the high, this candle 603, so I'm kind of watching the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. So it halted at 74, so let's say it opens at 50, and maybe it dips down for a second, but then it surges back up. If it breaks over the high of the candle where it opens and surges up, and then we've got that first 1 minute candle to make a new high, I'll kind of gauge and see how far it's going to go. Is it going to go all the way back up to 47, or is it just going to pop up and do a false breakout? I'm green in the main account, only $2,000. In my IRA, I'm up 2,700, but I'm still holding 2,300 shares with an average cost of $559. So, if it resumes 550, 540, so if it resumes at 540, I'll be down, $500. If it resumes if it goes as low as 520, I'd be down 800. So maybe I'd say the low of this candle right here was 526. I'd rather see it not break that low, pull back for a second here, and then first candle to make a new high. We still haven't had the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. We haven't had a 1 minute pullback on this. So it's possible that there's some traders that have been sitting on the sidelines watching this, that want to get a piece of the action because it is still the first daily candle to make a new high. This is the same setup, that we've traded on a bunch of different stocks. But let me just switch gears. Let me focus on this for a second. So the halt was 0918, so resumption 0418. So I'm watching here, back over 6 for me would be a scalp. So I'm not selling, I'm holding right now. The high of this current candle is 72. I'm watching the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. I'm actually only down 10 cents right now. So right now I still actually feel okay about it. 85, 90. So see that over 19, it's going to get halted going back up. I'm watching the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. This candle is going to close with a high of 94. Over 94, I actually want to add back. Over 94. So the first 1 minute candle to make a new high is what I'm watching here. Just added there for the break over 6. So we've got 93 on the ask. Looking for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. There's 90. I thought it would break right away, so now I'm kind of managing my risk on it. Watching it. It's holding up better than I thought it would. High of the last 5 minute candle is 94. So back over 6. 626 is the current halt level. My add at 89 was a little aggressive, but give this a second here. $10,000 share buyer there at 60. And you see that immediately brought in a little bit of a green surge on the time and sales. This is another 10,000 share buyer there. This is forming a 1 minute ABCD pattern. I've got my hand on the buy button. Watching. So the high there, 6 and 6. $6.26 still shows as the halt level going back up. $97, $6.03. Over $6.10, maybe I would consider adding. I mean, 647 is high a day, so we're a little ways off that level. I'm going to take my profit for just right now. I'm going to put an order at 610 to add back. I don't mind holding for a second here, but this is not what I want to hold through. The low is 28, so my stop, which was 26, was very close, right? I didn't want to see it go below the low of that candle. It actually hit 26, so it kind of double bottomed there and then came right off that level, so I didn't have to panic out. I actually made another couple $100 on it. The 5 minute chart, green candle here, 604 is the high. We've got about a minute left on this current candle. So now it's kind of a question of how aggressive do I want to be trading the 1 minute price action? Do I want to take the next 1 minute candle to make a new high? certainly the break back over 6 would be pretty interesting, right? So characteristic ABCD setup cannot go back below 26, and it's got to break back over 6. The only thing here is that it may take a couple of tries before it actually goes. It kind of tried here, and it tried here, and it didn't actually go. So getting in right at 6 for me is a little higher risk. The 5-minute candle technically made a new high by 10 cents. We now have high day volume on this green candle. It has short sale restriction, which means you can't short as a marketable order on the bid. Low of this last 1 minute was 58, so I wouldn't want to see it break below 50. It's up 28% today. It's not bad. First daily candle to make a new high is a good setup, but my biggest problem was that I only started with 3,800 shares here. I wasn't able to get full size, and then I added, so I had full size right here, but my new cost basis was it was about six. I guess I don't remember it was what it was on the IRA, but in my main account it was 611. So I'm in it at 611 right here, my main account. In my IRA, I think I was at around 550. So watch here, back over 6. Hidden seller at 98. You can see that it's probably someone maybe trying to take a short position, so it's not breaking just yet. I'm going to go to 2,000 share positions and keep an order at 610. I think this may need to do a 5-minute setup. Right now the 5 minutes is a little premature, so that means the 1 minute needs to continue to consolidate for a little bit longer. I'm not sure, but watching the level 2 with my order at 610. Wow. This one I definitely missed. Although that's on really light volume. So I'm actually okay that I missed WR. ORX works. No shares available to short it. 30-cent spreads. Yeah, so I'm not going to have too much FOMO on that. But I'm going to keep watching TMSR. So 623 is the red box here on TAS. Certainly over 623, I would say 650 is very realistic, but I wouldn't want to get in quite that high. I'd rather let it, consolidate right here, and then first 5-minute candle to make a new high is what I would probably watch. See if we get sympathy momentum with Works and TMSR both being pretty strong. Works, if I had shares available to borrow, I'd be short with a stop at the highs, but that's a pretty big, it's a big stop, but what you have here is a shooting star candle. TMSR didn't hit that $7 kind of target that I had for being short. It stopped out kind of at the 650 level. I can tell when stocks are going to get halted. You can see right here it shows LULD at 39, so that's the halt level, and at 23 is the halt level. Limit up, limit down is what that stands for. Works now back at 870 by 976, 9 by 976. The halt is at 976. The halt going back down is at 8. So it's giving one more little push. FTAC, that's weird. I don't know. I remember some of the stocks that went really crazy, excuse me, last year. I remember a couple of them started kind of like Works. They were sort of like big spread, and in this sort of $5-6 price range, it was like, who's trading this? This is crazy. And the next thing you know is at like $14, and then 18, and then 20, and it was like, well, geez, okay, I guess people are into it. And I can't remember if LFIN was one of them, but there were a couple last year that just made these super crazy moves. But when they first started, the spreads were huge, and it was just, to me, like, I wouldn't even consider it. But they just kept going up. TMSR, so this broke the ABCD pattern to the downside, right? So it pulled back, and now when it broke that level there, it broke the pattern. So I'm disappointed about that. I was hoping we'd get a 5-minute opportunity. I'm up 2,700 in the IRA, and I'm up 2,000 in my main account. Realistically, it's not despite a nice move from 450 to 650. I wasn't able to really make that a home run because I was behind the ball in my first entry, and then I added really high, and it came pretty much right back down here. So $4,700. Green is good. It's 10:30. I'll keep the scans on watch, see if something else pops up. MBOT, MBOT. Yesterday's high was 1047. Today's high is 1038. Change of directors or principal officers. It's not really much of a catalyst. Where's this located? Yeah, I see that 39,000 share buyer at 25 on MBOT. I'm not sure what I think about it. By the way, MBOT, this was a good example of first daily candle to make a new high. This one went from 7 all the way up to 11 bucks. So that setup that we were trading on TMSR, it's a valid setup. TMSR didn't have a lot of time to consolidate. It was the third day of the move that it, kind of did this, but SXTC did it the same way. It was like the second day, and it didn't really hold up super well. So, yeah, if I had shares available to short TMSR, I'd probably want to just be short and holding it for a bit to see if maybe over the next couple days it does pull back. It certainly stops, to manage risk, but this might fade for a few days before it opens back up. Works. Looks like it'll be a circuit breaker halt coming down here. High is $10. News on it too. So I think for right now, I'm going to sit tight. It's 10:30, 10:37, $4,700. It's a green day. Not the biggest green day, but green is okay. Green is good. So we'll sit tight here. I'll watch the scanners for a little bit longer. I don't have a meeting until 12, so I'll just be on mute. But if I see something pop up, I'll give it a shout. Hey, Rob. Hey, Rob. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Yeah, I'll make a note on that, the filters. That probably wouldn't be in the first release, but I like the idea. Our guys are working on the chat, the beta room. They've been working on it for all of January. They're going to work on it all of February. We should have it back testing. We'll do a couple tests this month, later in the month. But yeah, we're still working on it. It's not dead. It's a big project. Yeah, well, and the thing is, even this room ran better when we still had the beta open because there weren't as many people in it. Kirk, we're moving everyone over during the month. Anyone who's currently a starter student, if you upgraded to the Pro, you'd automatically get moved into the new sim because we're not putting any new students onto the old sim. The old sim is just moving people over as quickly as we can. So all new students are going on to the new sim. So you can wait until we move you over, which will be during this month. Yeah, it's obvious. You're either on Sterling, the same sim that I'm on, or the same software. This is Sterling Trader right here. So we have, this goes through my Lightspeed account, but we have the same installation basically. Let me just set it up here. So the sim login is over here. So if I logged out of this, I could log in. So let me log out for a second. So this is the sim right here. Yep, we want everyone moved over by the end of this month. First students getting moved over are Inner Circle students and Warrior Pro students who have joined for a full year. TMSR, it's curling back up a little bit, but it's not a clean ABCD setup because it broke the low here down to 5. If you're a starter student and you want the link to upgrade to Pro, just send me a private message and I'll give you the link. So, yeah, that's how fast you can trade. Yeah, we're going to be emailing everyone out. Hey, so the link I was saying, I have a link for starter students who want to upgrade to pro. So if you upgrade, then you'd automatically go into the new sim. I don't think. Let's see. I don't think WORX hit the momentum scanner. I think that there's no float listed. It only started trading under this name, I think, on February 4th. If you right click a chart and go to properties, you can turn on splits, earning labels, and dividends. And then there you go. Yeah, I'm just checking with my team on that. TMSR. High of this level was 560 right here. Broke over 560, that would be an interesting pivot here. I'm not sure that it's going to happen, but 560 is a spot to watch. We'll be sending out a link for Warrior Pro students to upgrade into Inner Circle. I think later this week we'll send out a link for you guys. TMSR, 560. That's the pivot here, right there. the high of this works here is right around 788. I've been kind of keeping my eye on it just because you can see this pattern back up to 850. So I'm going to see here if I can get filled on this. I'm going to put an order at the midpoint. Because I see this having potential to go back up like towards $10. Got an order. I got partial fills at 95 and 8, and I have an order at 811 that's not filled yet. The halt level's at 860. So it looks like it's going to go into a halt. Oh, come on. Partial fills, man. My target would be $10. Retest of high of day. This is a 5-minute pattern. So I've only got small size on it. That's right, small size better than none at all. But this one, it just has this look to me like something that could really make a big move. I don't know, like I said, we had a couple of those movers last year that started sort of like this. You know, they were just kind of these like, they just sort of made these big moves, and at first I sort of wrote them off, and then, you know, pulled back, and then off they went. So I'll see if I can get something on this one. High day is 10. You know, if it really opens up, could it get to 12, 13, 14, 15? Could it end up making like a really big move? This looks like the type of stock that could. I think what I want to do on this one is position for definitely a test of $10, but that if this really is strong, you know, maybe it could get a bigger move than that. So the high there was 68. I'm gonna put my share size here for 1,000 shares. I'll put it at 950 to try to scalp the next leg up. I want to try to just hold this for a bigger move. So watching here, got an add. I was able to add there. Next target on it is 10. So watching for the break over $10. Looks like it's going to go into another halt here. Trying to add going into this halt. I would say realistically, I'm looking more at $12. So I see 1085 on the ask, but like I said, I see this one to me has this kind of look of, to 5 up to 10, this pullback, now maybe a move up towards 12, maybe 15. I don't know, but it just, there's something about it to me that looks like it could be a big mover. I'm going to put a buy order at 1050 to try to scalp coming out of the halt with a target of 12. Yeah, I'm thinking of a couple of the big movers from last year that started. Yeah, I think it was IMTE actually. That was the one. IMTE on the first day of the move was, or at the very beginning of the move, the spreads were like really big, and it was just like, I totally wrote it off. And then next thing you know, it's at 14, it's at 15, it's at 18, it's at 20, and it's just going higher. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I don't know. This, for some reason, just looked similar to me when I saw that moving up earlier, and I just thought, well, I'll watch the pullback and, let's see if this thing does something, sort of similar. I mean, right now it is. So, you know, I can just hold my shares at 8 and, you know, see if we get a move up to 12, 15. I mean, if it goes up to 12 and then it does a 5-minute flag, I'm still in the green. So I don't have to sell. In my IRA, my biggest limit is that I can't take as much size as I want. You know, so that's a limit, but I've got an order here to add at 1050. Let's see. So I just got filled on my ad. Looking for the break of 10. There's 1080. I'm holding my position in my IRA. I'm not even selling it. I'm just holding. Target's 12. My main account, I've got 2,400 shares. IRA, just holding it. Next halt level is at 1088. This looks like to me it'll probably get halted again at 1088. Oh, halt level move up to 1132. Looks like it's going to probably get halted here. 1132 is the spot. $12 is my back of mind target. And really, I'm just wanting to hold the IRA position. I don't even want to sell it. So a little dip there, but that's not really concerning me too much right now because I think this is going to go higher. The high of day is 1107. So, you know, I'm just going to kind of hold on. Back of mind is, I mean, maybe this goes to 12, maybe it goes to 15, maybe it really opens up. So now over 1050 would be a possible scalp. Over 1050. Just keep this on watch. There's 10 by 1030. 1025. I'm watching the break at 1050 because I'm thinking that'll get the buyers up to 1075, 1080, and then back over 11. There we go, 1040 on the ask. Waiting for that first 1 minute candle to make a new high. The high right here is 1039. So watch 1039 to break. There's 1036 for a second on the bid. Watching the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. I haven't sold a single share in my IRA. I'm just holding target, you know, break over 12. The high back here was like 8 and then it dropped down for a second, did a doji, and then surged back up. So the high of this candle here is 1038, 1039. That's the level that I want to see break. There's some buyers there. 1010. Watch 1038. The next halt level is right over 11 right now. So if I was going to be aggressive, I would add 1050 in my main account. This right here is just sort of 1 minute micro consolidation. The pivot's at 1039, so 1050 would be a good scalp spot. Watch the volume here, 1020. You see some buyers there. This green kind of curling action right here on the 1 minute. That's what I like to see. So, you know, the thing here is like, I'm pretty much in the driver's seat. Like, I'm just going to hold this and I'm looking for the break over 1038. And then for a break at 1038, I'm going to add small size for a scalp back up to 11. So I'm going to be watching the time and sales around 1025, 1030, 1040. Watching the green tape. You want to see those green orders around 1020, 1030. High of the last 5 minute candle was 39, so now we have a first 5 minute candle that's going to make a new high. Got my hand on the buy button. High of that last candle was 1020. I'm watching WORX. It's on a little 5 minute pullback after that fresh breakout. I have a buy order at 10.55. I'm looking to scalp over the break of 10.30, 10.38, but I want to be able to get in a little early so I can try to sell it on that squeeze up to 11. This for me is still a 5-minute pullback. High of the current candle is 10.15. Watching the green on the time and sales. Move my order down to 30. I'll put it at 45. My buy order. If I see it break back over 10, I'm probably going to take a starter. I'm just watching this for a second, and then add through 10.20 and 10.30. Watching. I didn't get a chance to add. I'm going to try to add here at 45. Got a fill there at 45. Looking to go into the circuit breaker halt, which is going to be at 87. So adding into this halt, target now is still $12. So the halt's at 87. So I'm adding going into this halt. Thinking $12 is realistic. Got a high right now just over 11. I want to see it break through high of day. 11.11 is the new halt level. $11.26 is the halt level. This is going to be a 1-minute pullback, so watching the break over 11. $10.85. I want to see it snap over 11. So watching 11, high of day, right, or high of this little candle. So watching back over 1075. So there's 1062. I want to see 1075 break. 1050 on the bid, 1054. So on my IRA, I'm still holding at $8. I wasn't able to take the size I would have liked, but I got a good entry. And, I was thinking this might get over 11 and then 12. Right now it's a little sluggish, but I'm just watching the level 2 like a hawk. Watching 75, seeing if it's going to break back over 11. So I took my profits on the IRA, and I'm going to hold. Still got 1,100 shares in my main account. This looks like it's going to do maybe another 5-minute pattern. $9.80, $10.28. For this to have been a big winner, it needed to break on this move here and go back to high. Well, I guess it double topped. It needed to break and get halted going up. It almost did, but not quite. I gave back a little profit in my main account for my ads at 1076 and 1059, but it's okay. So you can see the TAS market resistance line is at 1007, or sorry, 1107. The low of this candle, it dipped all the way to 955. I'm not sure that I really want to hold through this 5-minute flag pattern, because the reality is the last 5-minute pattern, although it did break from 1038 up to 11, and that was a nice 60-cent break, it didn't make new highs, which is what a 5-minute pattern is really supposed to do. So now we're back at the same price that we were at before. So I've got my shares on the ask at 77. All right, so Filled the rest of those shares at 77. So made about 5,600 in my main account, 7,700 in the IRA. So it puts me up 18,000 today. Another nice green day. February is strong. And, you know, the story of today has been not being able to get my full order filled. You know, in my IRA, I made $7,700 on 3,500 shares. So, you know, that's awesome. But man, wouldn't it have been nice if I could have taken 5,000 or 10,000 shares? I just couldn't get filled. So I think this is the right move here, not to wait for this 5-minute pattern, because this is sort of a failed pattern, the fact that it didn't stair step higher. It should have gone up to 12, and then the pullback would be between 11 and 12, and then we could go up to 14. The pullback would be between, you know, 13 and 14, and so on. It came back up. I mean, this was a good entry down here at 8. It came back up here to 11, pulled back, popped back up, double top. That's going to be high a day for now. You know, this is one that I would keep on watch, though. I'm not going to keep trading it, but it really does have a look to me that I'm really interested in. So, I don't know, see what it does tomorrow. Of course, the higher it gets in price, the bigger the spreads are going to be, and the more difficult it'll be. And that's why trades or stocks like IMTE, you know, sometimes I don't even end up trading them, because by the time they're really taking off, you know, it's $20, $25 a share. I don't want to buy 5,000 shares of that and risk losing a full $1 or $2 a share. I think last year my biggest loser was on HMNY when it was at $22. Let me go back. Was this last year? Yeah, I think it was last year, but you know, got into it at 22 and stopped out at $19 for a $15,000, $16,000 loss on 5,000 shares. If this gives us, you know, a good 5-minute setup over the course of the next maybe half hour, it could be valid back over 1050. So this is the new level. 868 to 1107. That's the range. In my IRA, I was, you know, until we got this final false breakout, where was it? I guess right here. I was thinking I'm going to hold this, and maybe this will be the one that goes to $20, and I'm still holding from $8. But at a certain point, you got to know when to throw in the towel. High of the last 5-minute candles, 10:05. High day volume there, that's good. Highest volume has been on green candles, that's good. Still worth keeping an eye on.